This is Andy Parole for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined by former world champion Paul Butler. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thanks.
It's good to hear. Obviously, you come down to the gym today, catch up with you all. You're in camp once again, obviously still waiting for a date, but how are you looking? How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Just got 6 rounds sparring out there. Feeling not too bad. Nice to get some rounds in. I haven't sparred for, I can't remember when I boxed. It must be 8-9 weeks ago I boxed. It's probably 3 weeks before that I'd sparred as well. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've tasted a bit of leather and give some out myself, so I enjoyed it.
I was going to say, I caught the end of the sparring when I arrived in there with Cash Farouk, the British bantamweight champion. How do you feel Cash was in the ring with yourself?
Yeah, he sparred well, to be honest. Nice kid, nice style. I didn't expect that style from him. He come forward and he let his shots go. I expected him to be a bit of a flash mover. He weren't. Nice style behind him. Bright future.
There's a lot of build-up, just to stick with Cash, there's a lot of build-up with regards to himself and Lee McGregor, two Scottish fighters. A lot of, not a bit of a rivalry, but there's no animosity between them whatsoever, but they're acknowledging it could be a big fight between themselves. What are your thoughts with regards to when that fight will happen?
I've just been speaking to his alpha then, and when his alpha, his trainer, he told me that it is happening. Obviously, I don't want to be the one to break the date, but apparently it is happening, and it should be a good fight. I didn't know that McGregor was from Edinburgh, so that makes it an even bigger fight, a bigger rivalry. I'm sure once it does get announced and there's a few things said here and there, one will bite, the other will bite, and you'll see some fireworks, I'm sure, in the build-up to it.
No, I won't be able to push anything out of you because you're going to keep yourself quiet on that scenario, but we will come back to yourself. When are you looking to get back out now? What are your thoughts with regards to the plan for the rest of this year?
Listen, I want to be out as soon as possible. I just want to box. It's hard being in the gym, sparring, going home and basically not dieting. It's hard to get yourself up to come to the gym and to spar. I completely forgot I was sparring until last night. And Joe texted me saying, don't forget sparring in the morning. I was like, oh yeah. So you got to switch on then. But yeah, I just want to be out as soon as possible. I'm ready to box. All it is with me is my weight. So as soon as I get a date, I can concentrate on my weight and the diet can start. And we can get switched on for a fight.
It's interesting, I've interviewed yourself, Zaya and Sam, and you're all kind of in this bit of like a limbo with regards to what's next. I know Jose's going into the Golden Contracts tournament with MTK, but before that he obviously had a tough time waiting for a fight. With the sort of influx of so many fighters, especially coming over from America now, how much more difficult is it going to be to get those opportunities, and how much more limited do you think it will be?
Yeah, it is tough, especially for me as well, with the World Boxing Series going on with 2 of the titles held up in that. One of them, which I'm highly ranked in, which is the IBF. I think I'm 3 at the moment. If I was to get pushed up to 2 and say Inoue wins it or Donaire and whatever, I think if Inoue wins it, there's already talk of him going up. So if he was to go up and I was in line for the IBF, it's just a waiting game for me and being prepared for when my shot comes. But it is tough, yeah.
How difficult can that waiting game be as well? I know you just said about you waiting to see if Inoue or Donaire was to win and then vacate, etc. But in the meantime, trying to find an opponent that would ready you for one of those guys, to fight at world level again. I can't imagine it's an easy proposition for Joe to try and manoeuvre for yourself.
It's hard because I'm not one of them kids that can just get up for a 6 and 8 rounder. I boxed in Liverpool in a 6 rounder at the start of the year. I think it was February on Beefy's bill.
Yeah. And
I boxed at 8 stone 10, I think it was, or 8'11", and it was just a nightmare making the weight, and then I was getting an opponent fight week, and I got offered 2 kids. One had a 5-2 record. The other was the kid who I boxed, the Tanzanian based in London. I can't remember his name, but he was a decent kid, been in with some world champions and that. And I picked the Tanzanian kid because his record's better. I don't want to be in there with a 5-2 kid. And I boxed terrible. because it's hard to get up for well, it's hard to get up for a fight when you haven't got an opponent up until fight week. So I'm one of them kids that needs an opponent for 6, 7, 8 weeks that I can study, I can get my teeth into, I can spar, I can get sparring in to be that type of kid, do you know what I mean? And like I'm one of them, I need something to get my teeth in. I'm at that age now, I want big fights, I want world titles, and yeah, these 6 and 8 rounders, they're not really for me. Well, you need them because I'm in this sticky situation at the moment where I'm trying to hold my ranking. But like I say, it is tough.
We have just touched on Inoue-Donaire there as well, but what are your thoughts on that final in the World Boxing Super Series?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think pretty much like everyone jumping on the Inoue bandwagon, which there is a bandwagon because he is very good. But everyone was like that with Lomachenko, your average boxing fan, so to speak. At the weekend was like, Lomachenko within 2 rounds, Lomachenko 1 round. Just because they've seen previous fights. Luke-Campbell knows his way around the ring. Same with Donaire, knows his way around the ring. He's won numerous world titles. I can't see him getting blown out within 2, 3 rounds. I honestly think, look, Nicholas Walters could punch, and he took some of his best shots. And I know he got stopped in the end, but Nicholas Walters is a big featherweight, and he took some big shots off him. Does Inoue punch as hard as that? Maybe not, but he punches quicker than him. I do think Inoue will get him out of there, but I think it'll probably be from like 6 to 9 maybe, where he starts going through the gears, letting the shots go with power, and I think that's when he will get him. But I don't think he'll get him early. I think because Donaire he's a clever fighter, he's been around the block, and like I say, he's no mug himself.
I mean, you just touched on Lomachenko-Campbell there. What was your thoughts on that fight?
Brilliant fight. I was having this argument with my dad on the Friday night in the gym about my dad saying, as soon as he starts going through the gears, he won't be able to live with him. And I was like, he will, because he's an Olympic gold medalist. He knows his way around the ring. When he's hurt, he knows how to survive. Top class operators know how to survive. Albeit he had Lomachenko in front of him, but he's a big kid himself, and he's a big lightweight, Luke. And Lomachenko can do featherweight. It's ridiculous. He shouldn't be winning. Yeah. Well, he shouldn't be unifying it at lightweight, but he is, because he's a special talent. I called points all week. I said Lomachenko points because of the sheer size of Luke, and he knows his way around his ring. He's a very good southpaw. And, well, he lost to Solomon. Yeah, I'm on about as an amateur. He lost to Solomov, I think it was, or something like that. And he was a tall, upright southpaw. I'm not saying Luke would have looked at that or anything, but tall, upright southpaw, they are tough to break down. And you could see in rounds that Lomachenko was thinking, what am I going to do to get past this jab? But when he did, he was very good to watch. And I honestly think he's the best I've ever seen, footwork-wise. Shot selections, second to none. I've always been a massive Mayweather fan as well, but I love watching Lomo.
I mean, there's a lot of talk as well at the minute of a Lomachenko versus Gervonta Davis fight. Gervonta Davis has seemed to have vacated his WBA world title at the weight below now, seems to be moving up to lightweight. Firstly, there was talks of Davis Farmer, but obviously doesn't seem to be happening now. What would be your thoughts with regards to if Gervonta Davis was to fight Lomachenko up at lightweight?
Very good fight. I like Gervonta Davis. I just think there's one problem with him. I think he'd get too frustrated. He seems the type of kid that once his toys are out the pram, that's it with him. And I think Loma would just wrap him up into a little ball, and he'd frustrate him too much, and he'd play into his hands. But Gervonta Davis has got power in both hands that could keep Lomo thinking, but I do think Lomo would stop him just through frustration and sheer getting everything his own way. Gervonta losing his rag and Lomachenko stopping him late.
To stick with that Loma-Campbell card though, flyweight world title fight between Charlie Edwards and Julio Cesar Martinez. everybody assumed that Julio Cesar Martinez had picked up that third round stoppage victory, and then Mauricio Solomon jumps into the ring and says that is a no contest, an immediate rematch. What was your thoughts on the entire situation?
Bang on. Absolutely bang on. Eddie Hearn nailed it as well. It wasn't late, it was next week. It was terrible. I called it as soon as he threw it. I felt for Charlie Edwards because I thought oh, he's lost his title there by a late shot. And Sullivan called it right. Immediate rematch. If it happens, we don't know. We know Charlie struggles with the weight. But if he was to go away, maybe edit a few things in his diet, then he could possibly take the fight again. But yeah, I think the decision was bang on. I think it was exactly like Eddie said. It was next week. It was absolute shocking. But the ref should have picked up on it as well. The ref should have seen it as he went down. I honestly thought Charlie was all right. I thought he was hurt. Like he said I was hurt. But he's shown his experience. The first time he got beat, he's shown his inexperience. He's shown his experience on Saturday night. He goes down to take a knee and then takes one right round the side of the rib cage, and yeah, it was a crippler. Like it didn't have to take the wind out of him. You could tell.
Also on that undercard, we saw Huey Fury versus Alexander Povetkin. Alexander Povetkin picking up a points victory there. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, right decision. I thought Huey was too negative. I thought he could have made the old legs work a little bit more. He was just throwing a 1-2 and holding. He could have doubled the jab up, led him in. He could have done many things. I don't think he tried to push him back once neither. I know it's tough trying to push Povetkin back, but yeah, I just think he gifted Povetkin that fight. I had Huey up after 6, and then he just let him back into the fight. He should have kept doing what he was doing, but yeah, he just let him back into it. He just slowed down himself and let Huey get closer and closer. Povetkin get closer and closer throughout the rounds.
Now, whilst that card was going on, it was also announced that Taylor Prograis will face each other on October 26th. Firstly, what are your thoughts on that World Boxing Super Series final?
I hope Taylor wins. At the start of the tournament, I've done a new way in Taylor in a double to win him outright. So no, I do rate Taylor. I think he's a proper operator. Like I'm not normally one to watch southpaws. They don't really do it for me, but he's brilliant. Proper operator, good southpaw, comes forward, lets the body shots go, rips him in, works inside. He reminds me of a very much like Callum Smith, but a southpaw, tall for the weight, big for the weight, but can work great on the inside. And I fancy him to do a job. Yeah, I think he'll win that. Yeah.
Now on that undercard, Derek Chisora versus Joseph Parker was announced. How do you see that one playing out at heavyweight?
Tough fight, because Chisora just keeps rolling back the years, doesn't he? I think I'm going to go with Chisora, yeah. I think he might start slow, but I think he'll just keep plodding along, and I think Parker does get dragged into a fight now and again. So yeah, I'll go with Chisora, yeah.
And the fight which interests me the most was Lee Selby versus Ricky Burns. That was announced. Yeah. Getting thoughts.
Great fight. Proper pick-em fight that. Selby, if I had to pick, I'd go with Selby just for the sheer skill, and he's nice to watch. Selby when he starts letting him go and he gets in his rhythm and he starts moving his feet well, and he picks up that little bit of confidence. I just think Ricky might struggle with the movement and the speed of him.
And finally, just over a week ago, we saw Anthony Yarde's unsuccessful first world title challenge in Russia against Sergey Kovalev. Did you catch the fight, Paul? And if so, how did you see it?
Yeah, I thought he lost the first 6 rounds. I thought he weren't doing enough. He basically let Kovalev do what he wanted with the jab, pushed him back, moved him around the ring. But then something clicked in round 7. He went to the body with the left hooks, and I was thinking, you getting to him here? He don't like this. Round 8, he hurt him bad, and round 8 will play on his mind for the rest of his life. Maybe not so much round 8, round 9. Why try and walk him down and not throw a shot? He should have just went straight back down to the body. But what do I know sitting here? Like, he might have been tired himself. He might have been just walking him down as a bit of kidology, like, I will get you, and I'm just working you just to tire you out, and I'll get you next round once I've got my energy back. But round 9, I think he just let Kovalev get back behind the jab, get his pecker up again, and think, oh, I'm actually back in this fight. And then Kovalev just kicked on then. But yeah, like I say, he'll kick himself for the rest of his life for not turning the gas on in round 9.
It seemed to be, everybody was saying, Anthony's tank had just completely run out after that 8th round. Tundi told him just before that 8th round, go and empty it, go for it now. What was your thoughts with regard to Tundi's advice throughout the fight? Because over social media, he's had a bit of criticism from some quarters. Do you think it's been fair, or do you think it's been unjust?
That must have been the only thing he said to him all fight. He just rubbed his chest. If I was Yarde, well, I'm not going to say move trainers or nothing because I don't know them personally, but you can't. I know he says, the work's been done, but come on, like, you're getting pinged with a jab and a simple 1, 2, 3 in rounds 1 to 6. Give him some advice to move his head for that jab and slip inside the jab, sink the left hook into the body. Give the kid some advice. Don't just sit there and rub his chest. And so much for saying go and empty the tank. Nah, you do it methodically and you press and you do it smart. You start sinking the body shots in like he did in round 7. He nearly had him out of there in round 8. Go back to what you were good at. Sink the body shots in again. I honestly think he'd have got him out of there if he just stuck to the body. Didn't have to go headhunting. He was killing into the body. Should have just went back to the corner after round 8. Go back down to the body. The head will come. But he didn't. I don't know whether he gassed himself or... I think he probably did gas, to be honest. He just tried to walk him down in round 9. I just think that was the wrong tactics. Hands up and just walked at him. I just think that was all wrong. He should just went straight back down to the body. Stab the body with his jab. Stab the body. Bring the hands down, go round the sides. But like I say, it's easy sitting here and saying it.
Well, Paul Butler, I appreciate your time once again. I will leave a final word with yourself as I have with everybody else. Anything you'd like to leave on?
Not really, just stay tuned and hopefully we'll have some news from yourself soon.
Paul Butler, thank you for speaking to myself and Boxing Social.
Cheers mate, thanks a lot.